Hello everyone, my name is Evan Daly, and these are my college decision reactions for 2026. As a senior applying to college last year, I applied to 17 schools total, including one Ivy, a few top 20s, and a lot of Northeastern schools. So you're about to see that, of course. First, before we do any of that though, we should probably get into some of my stats because that might be important. I am a middle-income white boy from the Nashville area, Tennessee. I don't know if you knew that. I was not that great, honestly, in terms of stats. They were pretty middling for those top colleges. I had a 32 ACT. I had a 3.74 unweighted GPA, but it was like a 4.25 weighted. I took about 16 honors classes and 11 APs. I went to a very competitive public high school in my area, known as one of the best in the nation, not to brag, you know, pretty cool. And in terms of my extracurriculars, I was involved very heavily in my Model UN program, where I won a few awards, especially as a lawyer. Similarly, I also did mock trial, very involved in the humanities as well. I did a lot of choir, where I won a couple alternate positions at my state's all-state choir, where I also did theater, where I won a local school award, which I did submit on the application. And I also was a fry cook at a fried chicken restaurant, where I got a raise and was cross-trained, both of which are rather desirable positions to have. And I also was on my school's golf team very briefly for a few years early on. There wasn't a JV team, so I was just kind of automatically varsity, which is what I put on the application. Otherwise, I didn't really have any significant hooks, and I applied as a political science major with an additional intent to minor in film and media studies. Speaking of which, I also did a couple internships at both a local film studio and for my church's AV team, where I did a lot of my service hours working on the church's soundboard and live stream. And so I was also responsible for working on a couple of documentaries which some of my church's film crew was associated with. Similarly, I was also in a movie, which I definitely put on the application, where I did act in it. So very much an emphasis in both the social sciences and the arts, which I think helped my application. And then in terms of my essays, I wrote very much about my intention to go to law school and become an intellectual property lawyer, talked about my relationship to AI, how that was shaped by my love of movies, and I interviewed wherever I could. I had interviews at the University of Rochester, Washington and Lee, and Georgetown. Also had a Georgetown interview. But yeah, so otherwise, as you can tell, my application was very much carried by my extracurriculars and all the things I did outside of the classroom. So without further ado, past all my yapping, here is the beginning of my college decision reactions, beginning first with UT Knoxville. All right, guys. I was trying to film my reaction here. I even had Emma here with me. Say hi, Emma.
Hello.
And I was trying to film my reaction to whether or not I got into UTK, and I thought I'd get like a letter or something, but then I just refreshed the page, and I get this. Congrats, Evan. You're a volunteer. So I got in. I got into UTK, which is really cool. I'm super excited about it. But I gotta be honest. Mom isn't even here with me. Because she is busy at the moment in the bathroom. So I didn't get to share that with her. But I got in. That's about it. Yippee! Yippee! Now, in terms of UT, while I was very happy to be accepted, unfortunately, my honors college essay was kind of garbage, so unfortunately got rejected, waitlisted from that one. And then I did not make the Haslam program, which was the civics honors program specifically. All right, so with UT out of the way, I was very hopeful for Georgetown, which was the next college I received a decision for. It was my dream school at the time, and I was putting everything into Georgetown stock, proverbially stock, which is what you need to know going into this next reaction.
I'm going to pray really quick. Let's just do that. Grace God, I thank you for everything that you do for me. I pray that my hard work will be paid off here, but even if it isn't, and even if I end up going somewhere else, that I am a part of your plan and that I'm able to contribute in any way possible, and that you will continue to be the God of my life and protect me. Thank you for everything you do for me. Amen. All right. We're logging on to the portal. All right. Continue. All right. Welcome, Evan. Hold on. Wait, what? Oh, here's the update. All right. You guys ready?
Ready. We're rolling.
Thank you, Lord. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Deferred. Yeah. Deferred.
That's okay.
Okay. All right. At least it's over with. Thank you, guys.
A regular decision.
Yeah.
No, like that.
All right. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate it.
Hello, everyone. It is 5:04 p.m. on January 8th, 2026, and in the mountains of Colorado, they just released my Colorado college decision. I'm going to be honest with this one. It's a selective school, but I'm not really too focused on it. If I get rejected, it's whatever. You know what? I'm just glad I had the opportunity to apply, and at least I'm getting it over with, and I know what's going to happen. So what we're going to do is we're going to log in and see what they have for me. So I'm logging onto the admission portal right now. Let's open up my application. And we have a status update. Let's check this. 3, 2, 1. Rejected by Anthony Davis.
Oh.
All right, guys, about 3 weeks ahead of schedule, Northeastern decided to release their decision. I applied here on early action a few months back, so I'm going to see if I can get in there. Out of nowhere, a guy came and totaled both of our cars, which means I'm totally going to get into Northeastern. See what I did there? All right, so 3, 2, 1. Let's just figure out if I got in. Oh, I got deferred. Wow. Okay. That's not a no. All right. Wow. Okay. Most applicants get waitlisted on early action. So I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing. Northeastern doesn't defer all of their applicants. So I know I at least had some merit to my application. We understand we may be disappointed by this decision. I'm actually not. I kind of expected Northeastern to reject me outright. All right, guys, that's not terrible.
Right.
We take those. You know what?
Peace out.
Yeah, peace.
Before this next reaction, I want to explain the story of how I even ended up doing early decision to WashU in the first place. So essentially, during the December application process, I was fully going in to early decision 2 at Washington and Lee, which at the time was a school that I was very fond of. I had toured there, loved the campus, loved the everything about it, really. And the interview went amazing. Like the lady might as well have asked me to marry her granddaughter or something. She told me, she literally said straight up that I should view whatever she wrote down on that interview piece of paper as a letter of recommendation within itself. So I'm like, okay, yeah, it's happening. Early decision to Washington and Lee, let's go. But then about 2 weeks beforehand, I have a bit of a crisis of self, and I realize, I do have a lot of family in St. Louis. I have a lot of ties to WashU. They're all about that, right? Maybe I could work something there. So I talked to my counselor about it, and she actually convinces me that maybe doing early decision 2 to WashU isn't a bad idea. So I end up getting her to sign off on it. But then I go back and I'm like, okay, no. Washington and Lee, that's what I want to do, right? I'm fully in. So it's December, right before winter break, literally the day before, and we all get out of school. And so I decided to submit my Washington and Lee application in the car with one of my friends as we're driving to hang out with a bigger group of friends. And I check the application confirmation email that Common App gives you every time you submit a college application. And it says, "Thank you for submitting your regular decision application to Washington and Lee." What? So, turns out, I didn't actually change Washington and Lee back to early decision 2 whenever I decided I was going to do that. And so I accidentally submitted a regular decision application there. And because WashU was the only other college that I had a counselor sign off on for early decision before winter break, and the application would be due after winter break, WashU was the only choice that I had to do early decision. And based off the stats I told you earlier, you can pretty comfortably assume that I was probably going to get rejected from WashU, almost definitely going to get rejected, which is what you need to know going into this next reaction.
Hey, what's up? We got the WashU E2 decisions. I'm at work right now, so I'm going to try to make this quick. But let's just see if I got in or not. So I'm going to do that right now. Wait. That's the wrong one. There we go. Alright. Pull up, y'all. Alright. Y'all ready? Let's see. Alright. Lord, I thank you for everything you do for me. I just pray I make it in. 3, 2, 1.
I got into WashU. I got into WashU. Let's go Bears. Go Bears. Go Bears. So with that completely out of nowhere acceptance on early decision, I 100% committed to WashU, which is where I'm committed today. Yes, this sure is a red herring. I'm not going to Rochester. That decision would have come out a few days later, but I rescinded that application because I was in on WashU. That was probably one of the greatest days of my life. I'm not even going to hold you there. I was awestruck. I was dumbfounded, flabbergasted. So yeah, following February 12th, I rescinded all my other applications, except for 2, which were William and Mary and Boston University. I couldn't figure out how to rescind them, so I still ended up getting decisions for those a little bit later. Didn't record my reaction to them, but I'll recreate it now. Hey there, my name is Evan Daly, and it's like March 27th or something. I'm going to check my William and Mary portal, because I'm at a choir rehearsal, and that just came out. Waitlist? Oh, man. So yeah, I got waitlisted from William and Mary, and then I'll recreate Boston for you. Hey, my name's Evan, and I'm on a choir trip to Disney World. What's this? Boston University came out while I'm in the line for Space Mountain. Might as well check that one, too. Oh, man, I got rejected. So yeah, I got rejected from Boston and got waitlisted from William and Mary, which there concluded my college decision journey. So yes, at the end of the day, I made it out early. I got accepted to WashU on early decision 2, and that is where I'm fully committed. Go Bears! I move in about 2 weeks, and I feel like it's obligatory that former seniors give advice to anybody who's about to go through the application process. And so I have a couple pieces of advice. First off, something I realized during the whole process, every college has a gimmick. And what I mean by that is every college has something that they really emphasize in their admissions process that makes them different than everybody else. Like Wake Forest really likes intellectual curiosity. WashU really likes being involved in St. Louis. I think that's a big part of why I got in, is I emphasized it in basically everything I did. Even in the video I did, I was talking about it all the time. If there's a college you're really invested in, look into that gimmick. Look into what can I say about that gimmick that ties into my own personal interests. If I'm a biomed major, what biomedical projects are really big in St. Louis right now that I can do to benefit the St. Louis community if you're also trying to be cool like me and go to WashU. The second thing I would say is build up some charisma, especially for like interviews. Because there were a lot of colleges, unless you're applying to like Ivies or something, that offer those interviews. And my biggest advice there is take them. Take every single one of them. I know they say they're technically optional, but they can be so beneficial to the process, even if it doesn't say it on the common data set sheet. Learn to speak. It's a skill you're going to need for life in general. And admittedly, I've always been a bit of a talker, so it was very beneficial to me to have those interviews. But giving them your voice extends beyond whatever you write in those essays. It's going to permeate through every aspect of your application, and I think your ability to look a admissions counselor or a former alum or whatever the interview may be in the face and talk about those things is incredibly beneficial to your journey. Whatever happens to you in the future, whether you're already accepted to college and you're just watching this for the fun of it, I do that sometimes, or you're a junior about to apply to college, all I can say is good luck. You're going to do great things out there. And this has been the one and only Evan Daly, signing off. Go Bears.